5, paragraph page 323. Okay, stage 5, 323. Okay, and our last headword was vice versa, newer type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with revision. Ready?
Okay, everything.
Okay, here we go. First question. Do you usually go to sleep before midnight? Do you usually go to sleep before midnight? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I
usually
usually
go
go
to
to sleep
sleep
before
before midnight.
midnight. Do you generally wake up early? Do you generally wake up early? Yes or no?
Yes, I generally wake up early.
Right. What are the three forms of wake up? What are the three forms of wake up? The three
The
forms
three
of
forms
wake
of
up
wake up
are wake up,
are wake
woke
up,
up,
woke up,
woken up.
woke up.
Very good. What was the first thing you saw when you woke up today? What was the first thing you saw when you woke up today? The first thing
The
I
first
saw
thing I
when
saw
I
when
woke
I
up
woke
today
up today
was
was the city.
very good. Have you ever woken up too late to go to work? Have you ever woken up too late to go to work? Yes or no?
Yes, I've
I've
sometimes
sometimes
woken
woken
up
up
too
too late
late to
to
go
go
to
to work.
work.
Very good. Okay, next. When you look through your bedroom window, what do you see? When you look through your bedroom window, what do you see? When I look
When
through
I look
my
through my
bedroom window,
bedroom window,
I see.
I see some buildings.
Very good. What's he doing? What's he doing? He's putting his
He
pen
put his pen
through the
through the
buttonhole
button
in
in
his.
his shirt.
Very good. If you went from London to Rome, which cities would you perhaps have to go through? If you went from London to Rome, which cities would you perhaps have to go through? If I went from
If
London
I went
to
from
Rome,
London to
I would
home, I
perhaps have to go through
to go through
Paris,
Paris, Milan,
Milan,
etc.
etc. Would you like a career in the army? Would you like a career in the army? Yes or no?
No, I wouldn't like career in army.
Very good. Next, what's this? What's this? It's a
It's a
cross.
cross.
When a teacher puts a cross next to an answer in a written test, what does it mean? When a teacher puts a cross next to an answer in a written test, what does it mean? When a teacher puts
When
a
a teacher
cross
puts a
next to
cross
an
next
answer
to an
in a
answer
written
in a
test,
written
it
text,
means
it
the
means
answer
the
is wrong.
answer is wrong.
Are there any crossroads at the end of the street where you live? Are there any crossroads at the end of the street where you live? Yes or no?
Yes, there are some
At
crossroads
the
at
end
the end of the
of the street
street where
where
I
you
live.
live. Very good. Okay. What color do we use for danger? What color do we use for danger? We use
We
red.
use red for danger.
Is it dangerous to drive after drinking alcohol? Is it dangerous to drive after drinking alcohol? Yes, it's
Yes,
dangerous to
it's
drive
dangerous to
after
drive
drinking
after
alcohol.
drinking alcohol.
Would you like to live dangerously like a detective, somebody like Sherlock Holmes, for example? Would you like to live dangerously like a detective, somebody like Sherlock Holmes, for example? Yes or no?
No, I wouldn't
Wouldn't like to
like to
live
live dangerously
dangerously like
like
a
a
detective,
detective.
somebody like
Somebody like
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Very good. What's the difference between these two sentences? I must study and I should study. What's the difference between these two sentences? I must study and I should study. The difference between those
Difference
two
between those
sentences
two
is that
sentences
I
is
must
that
study
I
means
must
that
study
I
means
have
I
no
have no
alternative,
alternative,
whereas I
whereas
should study
I
means
should
I
study
have
means I have
alternatives. But
alternatives.
that studying
That studying
is the
is the
right
right
thing
thing
for me
for
to
me to
do.
do.
How do we translate I must study in Japanese? How do we translate I must study in Japanese? We translate I must
We
study
translate I must
in
study with
Japanese.
私は勉強しなきゃいけない in Japanese.
Oh, very good. How do we translate I should study in Japanese? Do we translate I should study in Japanese? We translate
We
I should
translate
study with
I should study with 私は勉強しなきゃいけない in Japanese.
in Japanese. Very good. Okay. Do you think people should be more polite in the shops and streets? Do you think people should be more polite in the shops and streets? Yes, I think
Yes,
people
I
should
think
be more polite
people should be more
in the
polite in
shops
the
and
shops
streets.
and
Do
streets.
you agree that students should study hard? Do you agree that students should study hard? Yes, I
Yes,
agree
I
that
agree that
students
students
should.
should study hard.
Do you agree that young people should help the old? Do you agree that young people should help the old? Yes, I
Yes, I
agree that
agree that
young
young people
should.
should help the old.
Very good. What should we do when somebody's dangerously ill? What should we do when somebody's dangerously ill? when somebody
When
is
somebody
dangerously
is
ill,
dangerously
we
ill,
should
we should
immediately call
immediately
the
call
ambulance.
an ambulance.
Very good. What do you think you should do if you want to make a lot of money? What do you think you should do if you want to make a lot of money? If you want to
If we
make
want
a lot
to
of
make a
money,
lot of
I
money,
think you
I
should
think you work very
hard,
hard.
very hard, or rob a bank. Okay, very good. Next, do you correct your dictations during the lesson? Do you correct your dictations during the lesson? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
correct
correct my
dictations
dictations during
during
the
the
lesson.
lesson. I
I
correct
correct
them
them
after.
after the lesson.
In a Callan Method lesson, does the teacher correct your grammatical mistakes? In a Callan Method lesson, does the teacher correct your grammatical mistakes? Yes. In a
Yes,
Callan
in a
Method lesson,
chemistry
the
lesson, a
teacher
teacher
corrects my
corrects my
grammatical.
grammatical mistakes.
How can we correct our mistakes in our pronunciation? How can we correct our mistakes in our pronunciation? We can correct
We can
our
correct
mistakes in our
mistakes in our
pronunciation by
pronunciation
listening
by
and
listening
speaking
and
as much
speaking
as
as much
possible.
as possible.
Very good. If you have a problem with a colleague at work, should you speak to your boss about it? If you have a problem with a colleague at work, should you speak to your boss about it? Yes. If I
Yes,
have a
if I have
problem with a
problem
colleague at
with
work,
with a colleague at
I
work,
should speak
I
to my
should
boss
speak to
about it.
my boss about it.
Very good. Okay, can smoking cause health problems? Can smoking cause health problems? Yes,
Yes,
smoking can
smoking
cause
can
health
cause health
problems.
problems.
In history, have many people died for the causes of freedom and justice? In history, have many people died for the causes of freedom and justice? Yes, in
Yes, in
history, many
history,
people
many
have
people have
died
died
for the
for,
causes of
for the
freedom
causes
and
of
justice.
freedom and justice.
As we have now studied about 1,000 words and a lot of the grammar, can you hold a simple conversation in English? As we have now studied about 1,000 words and a lot of the grammar, can you hold a simple conversation in English? Yes, as we
Yes,
have now
we
studied
as we have now studied
about a thousand
a
words and
thousand
a lot
words
of
and
the
a lot
grammar,
of grammar,
I can hold a
I can
simple
hold a
conversation
simple
in English.
conversation in English.
Are you, as you are not tall enough to reach the ceiling, what would you have to do if you wanted to reach it? As you are not tall enough to reach the ceiling, what would you have to do if you wanted to reach it? As I am not
As I'm
tall
not
enough
tall
enough
enough
to
to reach
reach
the
the
ceiling,
ceiling, I would have
I
to
would
put a
have to
chair
put a table,
on the table
chair on the table
and stand
and
on the
standing
chair
on the chair
if
if
I
I
wanted
wanted
to
to
reach
reach
it.
it,
Very one more and stand on the chair
and stand on the
if
chair
I wanted to reach it.
if I wanted to reach it.
Very good. Okay, next give me a sentence or give me some sentences with that is in it. Give me some sentences with that is in it, please. Everybody loves that
Everybody loves
film.
the film
That is
that is
everybody I've
everybody
spoken to.
I've spoken to.
We will go to the cinema
We
this
will go to
evening.
the cinema
That
this
is
evening.
if we
That
have enough
is, if
money.
we have enough money.
Very good. Have you ever broken any of the bones in your body? Have you ever broken any of the bones in your body? Yes or no?
Yes,
I've
I
broken
broke mm,
a bone.
one a
One
bone,
one of the bones
one of the
in
bones
my
in my
body.
body.
When and how? When and how? When I was
When I was a little child, I jumped down from a chair and I broke my arm.
very good. Must be a wrestling match. Okay, next. What's the plural of life? What's the plural of life? The plural
The
of life
plural of
is
life is
lives.
lives.
Do you think the lives of the poor are happier than those of the rich? Do you think the lives of the poor are happier than those of the rich? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
the
the
lives
lives
of
of
the
the
poor
poor are
are
happier
happier
than
than those
those
of
of the
the rich.
rich.
I think they are less happy.
I think they are happy.
Very good. Make a sentence with the word although in it. Make a sentence with the word although in it, please. Although the food
Although
was not
the
very
food wasn't
nice,
nice,
I ate
wasn't
it
not very nice, I ate it
because I was
because I
hungry.
was hungry.
Very good. One more. Although the food
Although
was not
the food
very nice,
was not very
I
nice,
ate it
I ate
because I
it
was hungry.
because I was hungry.
Right? Although you're now able to hold a simple conversation in English, do you think you should keep studying? Although you're now able to hold a simple conversation in English, do you think you should keep studying? Yes.
Yes,
Although I'm now able
although I'm now able
to hold a
to
simple
hold a simple
conversation in
conversation
English,
in
I
English,
think I
I
should
think
keep
I
studying.
should keep studying.
Right? Are some people always happy although they have problems in their lives? Are some people always happy although they have problems in their lives? Yes, some
Yes,
people
some
are
people are
always happy
always happy,
although
although
they have problems
they have
in their
problems in
lives.
their lives.
Very good. Is there a restaurant near there that cooks tasty food? Is there a restaurant near there that cooks tasty food? Yes or no?
Yes, there's a restaurant near here
That
that
cooks
cooks tasty
tasty.
food.
Is it difficult to cook pasta? Is it difficult to cook pasta? No, it
No,
isn't
it isn't
difficult
difficult
to
to
cook
cook a pasta.
pasta.
It's
It's
easy.
easy. Right? Are you a good cook? Are you a good cook? Yes or no?
Yes, I'm a good cook.
Very good. Okay. Do you think that all the countries of the world should be independent? Do you think that all the countries of the world should be independent? Yes or no?
Yes, I,
I think
yes, I think
that
all
all
the
the
country of
countries
the world should
should
be
be
independent.
independent. Very good. Do many European languages have their origins in Latin? Do many European languages have their origins in Latin? Yes, many
Yes,
European
many European
languages
languages
have
have
their
their
origins
origin
in
in
Latin.
Latin.
Very good. Next, why don't you take this book home with you after the lesson? Why don't you take this book home with you after the lesson? I don't take
I
that
don't
book
that
home
book home
with
with
me
me
after the
after the
lesson
lesson
because it
because it
doesn't belong
doesn't
to
belong
me.
to me.
Very good. Who does this pen belong to? Who does this pen belong to? That pen
That pen
belongs to you.
belongs to you.
If a factory belonged to you, do you think you would be able to make a lot of money? If a factory belonged to you, do you think you would be able to make a lot of money? Yes. If a
Yes,
factory
if
belonged to
factory
me,
belongs to
I think
me,
I would be
I
able
think
to
I would
make
be
a lot
able
of
to
money.
make a lot of money.
Very good. What can we use instead of would be able in conditional sentences? What can we use instead of would be able in conditional sentences? We can use
We can
could
use
instead
a
of
could instead of
would be able
to be
in
able
conditional
in
sentences.
conditional sentences.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. If I was a bird,
If I
I
was a
could
bird,
fly.
I could fly.
Right? Okay, now I'm going to ask you some question with the word could, and you answer with the words would be able, and vice versa. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Number one, if you were very, very tall, could you touch the ceiling? If you were very, very tall, could you touch the ceiling? Yes. If I
Yes,
were
if I
very,
are
very
very
tall,
very
I
tall,
would be
I
able
would be
to
able to
touch.
reach to touch the ceiling.
Very, or to reach the ceiling is also correct. Next, if you were a doctor, would you be able to help people who were ill? If you were a doctor, would you be able to help people who were ill? Yes. If I
Yes,
were a
if I are
doctor,
a doctor,
I could help
I
people
could help
who were
people
ill.
who are ill.
If you were as strong as a horse, could you lift a man above your head with only one hand? If you're as strong as a horse, could you lift a man above your head with only one hand? Yes. If I
Yes, if
were as
I are
strong
as
as a horse,
strong as a horse,
I would
I
be able
could I would be
to
able to
lift a
lift
man
a
above my
man
head
above my
with
head
only one hand.
only one hand.
Very good. And that's the end of our revision. Let's have new word. Okay, very good. Okay, repeat. Throw.
Throw.
Very good. Throw. Okay, listen. Throw is a verb. When you throw an object that you are holding, you move your arm quickly and let go of the object so that it moves through the air. For example, I'm throwing my pen in the air. Another example is I don't think I could throw a stone further than you can. Let's practice. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're
You are
throwing
throwing your
your
pen
pen
in the air.
into the air. Very good. Do you think you could throw a stone further than I can? Do you think you could throw a stone further than I can? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
think
can
I could.
throw.
I
I
think
think
I could throw a stone
I could throw a stone
further than you can.
farther than you can.
Very good. Next, repeat. Alive,
Alive,
dead.
dead.
Very good. Okay, listen. Alive and dead are both adjectives. Alive is the opposite of dead. Alive means living, not dead. Dead means not alive. For example, we are alive. We're not dead. Steve Jobs is dead. Napoleon is dead. Let's practice. Is Napoleon alive? Is Napoleon alive? No. Napoleon
No,
isn't
the
alive.
poem
Na- Na-
isn't alive.
Napoleon.
Napoleon.
Yeah, the explorer. One more. No. Napoleon
No,
Isn't alive.
Napoleon isn't alive.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Drop.
Drop.
Go without.
Go without.
Very good. Okay, listen. Drop. The word drop can be a verb and a noun. As a verb, it means to let something fall. For example, I'm dropping my pen on the table. As a noun, for example, a drop of water. So we're talking about the drop of water. So it's a noun. When we say go without, it means not to have something that you usually have. For example, the longest time I have ever gone without drinking a drop of water is half a day. Very good. Let's practice. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're dropping
You are
your pen
dropping your pen
on the.
into the on the table.
Very good. What's the pen doing? What's the pen doing? The pen's dropping
And pen's dropping
on the table.
on the table.
Very good. What would happen if I drop a glass on the floor? What would happen if I drop a glass on the floor? If you drop a
If
glass,
you
if you
drop a
drop
glass,
on the floor,
if you drop a glass
on the floor,
on the floor,
it would break.
it was break.
It would break.
It would break.
Very good. What's the longest you have ever gone without drinking a drop of water? What's the longest you have ever gone without drinking a drop of water? The longest
The
I've ever
longest
gone
I've
without
ever gone
drinking a
without
drop of water
drinking a drop of water
is.
is half a day.
Very good. Next, repeat. Assassinate.
Assassinate.
Very good. Okay, listen. Assassinate is a verb. It means to kill or murder an important person, like a queen, a king, a prime minister, a president, etc. For example, President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. Well, Prime Minister Abe was assassinated, right? Okay, let's practice. What happened to President Kennedy? What happened to President Kennedy? President Kennedy was
Kennedy
assassinated
was
in
assassinated
1963.
in 1963.
Very good. So assassinated is to kill an important person. If not, it's just murder. Okay. Next, repeat usual,
Usual.
unusual.
Unusual.
Very good. Okay, the word usual is an adjective. It means common or something that is done by many people or in most situations. For example, it's usual for people in my country to eat hot food for breakfast. Or we can say it's usual for people in my country to drink beer, just like you. Okay. Unusual is an adjective. It is the opposite of usual. For example, it's unusual for children to find coffee tasty. They don't like coffee. Nothing unusual happened to me today. Yeah, so it means everything is normal. Let's practice. Did anything unusual happen to you yesterday? Did anything unusual happen to you yesterday? Yes or no?
Yes,
Not something unusual
something unusual
happened to me yesterday.
happened to me yesterday.
What happened to you yesterday?
I had a fight with my wife.
Oh, that's usual with me. And who won? Your wife, of course. Okay, here you go. Is it usual for people in your country to eat hot food for breakfast? Is it usual for people in your country to eat hot food for breakfast? Yes or no?
Yes, it's
It's
usual
for people in my
for
country
people in my
to eat
country
hot food
to
for
eat
breakfast.
hot food for the breakfast.
Right? Is it unusual for children to find coffee tasty? Is it unusual for children to find coffee tasty? Yes, it's unusual
Yes,
for
it's
children
unusual
to find
for
coffee
children
tasty.
to find coffee tasty.
Very good. Next, repeat still,
Still,
yet,
yet
in progress.
in progress.
Very good. Okay, one moment. Here we go. Okay, listen. We use the word still for something that is in progress at the moment, whereas we use yet for something that is not has not begun or happened but will happen. For example, it's still winter. Okay, it isn't spring yet. It's still 2024. It isn't 2025 yet. It's still Friday. It isn't Saturday yet. Okay. We generally use still in positive sentences, whereas we generally use yet in questions and negative sentences. But not always. We must learn when to use still and when to use yet by practice. When we say in progress, it means happening now and not yet finished. For example, the lesson hasn't finished yet. It's still in progress. Okay, so let's practice. What's the difference between still and yet? What's the difference between still and yet? The difference
The
between
difference
still and
between
yet
free
is
and
that
yet
we
is
use
that
still
we use
for
still
something that is
for something
in
that
progress
is
at the moment,
in progress at the
whereas
moment,
we use yet
whereas
for
we use
something
yet
that has
for
not
something
begun
that has not begun
or happened.
or happened.
We generally use still in
We
positive
generally use
sentences,
still in positive
whereas
sentences,
we generally use
whereas
yet
we generally
in
use
questions
yet
and negative
question
sentences.
in negative sentences.
Give me some examples. Give me some examples, please. It's still winter.
It's still
It
winter.
isn't spring yet.
It isn't spring yet.
Very good. Okay, now let's move on to reading.
Okay.
Okay, so our reading is at stage 4, paragraph page 223. And the last head word was middle. Okay, start
Middle.
with where's the letter U?
You.
Middle, center, one, two, three,
Okay.
fourth question.
Okay.
Mhm.
Where's the letter U? The letter U in the middle.